You need some wide receiver sleepers this week to help you pull it out and win your championship or your third place matching game. Or if you're just in daily fantasy, whatever it is, here's a few sleepers that can help you at wide receiver. The first guy's Jaylen Reagor of the Philadelphia Eagles. Reagor, he's got a great matchup this week versus the Dallas Cowboys. And the last few weeks, his numbers have gone up since Jalen Hurts has been in the starting lineup as the quarterback. Last week versus Arizona, 5 catches, 49 yards. And in week 14, 2 catches, 46 yards. But let's rewind to week 8 versus the same Cowboy team. He had 3 catches, 16 yards, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion and 6 rushing yards. So this week, it's an NFC East battle. Both teams, they're still fighting for a playoff chance somehow in that weak division with 5 or 6 wins both teams have. And the Cowboys, their defense really stops nobody in terms of wide receivers. And I think Reagor, he could find double-digit fantasy points in this one. And if you're in a league where you start a lot of players, or the deepest of leagues, Jaylen Reagor, he's a good sleeper play at wide receiver. The second guy is Darnell Mooney of the Chicago Bears. Mooney, his game has stepped up the last few weeks for the rookie receiver. With Mitchell Trubisky in there at quarterback. In the last 2 weeks, it's been good for him. Week 14, 2 catches, 22 yards, and a touchdown. And last week versus Minnesota, 4 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown for Mooney. And now here in week 16, he's got a good matchup versus the Jacksonville Jaguars that give up the 9th most fantasy points to wide receivers. Each and every week, it seems like a receiver is going for 70 or 80 yards and finding the end zone versus this Jacksonville defense. I think Mooney, he could get 40, 50 yards again in this one and find the end zone, and that's good sleeper numbers. And the third and final receiver I have as a sleeper this week's Lynn Bowden Jr. of the Miami Dolphins. We don't know Devontae Parker's status, but Parker, he's been struggling with Tua under center this year, and Bowden Jr., he's stepped up now the last few weeks. In week 14, 7 catches, 82 yards, and last week versus the Pats, 6 catches, 37 yards. This guy in Yahoo Fantasy Leagues, he qualifies as a receiver and a running back, so that can help you if you want that flexibility in your lineup. And like I said, if he's not going to play this week, Devontae Parker, Bowden Jr., he's going to have an expanded role, and he's getting targets, and they use him in 2 different ways, running the football and receiving, obviously. So that's 3 wide receivers I have as sleepers here heading into week 16.